Hello MotoGP fans. Welcome back to ZNGP Today. Ahead of the Thai Grand Prix, the FIM MotoGP stewards panel, led by Simon Crafar, released the updated penalty protocol for the 2026 season. Riders praised Crafar's balanced approach last year, and the new guidelines aim to reinforce consistency, safety, and fairness across all classes. The document outlines how slow riding, on-track incidents, race starts, and penalty serving will be judged, with clear escalation rules for repeat offenders. Luca Marini has pushed back on speculation linking him to Yamaha for the 2027 MotoGP season, but his measured reply underlines a rider in demand. As the 2026 campaign gets underway at Buriram, Marini remains a central figure in the reshuffle of seats that could reshape the grid next year. His blend of technical acumen and steady results has made him attractive to teams rebuilding their lineups, and to journalists chasing the next big transfer. Toprak Razgatlioglu arrives at his first MotoGP race weekend with Pramac Racing and a Yamaha M1 that is still very much a work in progress. The three-time World SBK champion has been candid about the mental and technical challenges of switching to prototypes, admitting the adaptation is slower than hoped. On the eve of the Thai GP at Buriram, Toprak spoke openly about expectations, team dynamics, and the patience required to find his footing in the premier class. Márquez begins the 2026 season as reigning MotoGP champion, but with a pragmatic technical compromise. Still recovering from the complicated shoulder fracture sustained last October, the 33-year-old has chosen to start the year on Ducati's 2024 aerodynamic package rather than the more physically demanding 2025 spec. The decision reflects a rider balancing short-term physical limits with long-term competitiveness. Adapt now, push later. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Slow online incidents remain a key focus. In qualifying sessions, Q1 and Q2, any rider who disadvantages another almost always receives a penalty unless extenuating circumstances apply. Warnings for first offenses, penalties escalated for multiple offenses. The emphasis is on punishing serious cases while avoiding unnecessary intervention for minor, harmless incidents. Safety and fairness remain the priority. Racing incidents with light contact are tolerated if not overly ambitious. Aggressive moves that unfairly gain positions or cause crashes trigger penalties. If the stewards consider that an overtake was not overly ambitious, then it will be deemed a racing incident. Severity dictates punishment, position penalties, long laps, or double long laps. Repeat offenders face escalating sanctions. Race starts and first lap collisions are judged more harshly, with double long laps as the baseline. Yellow flags and panels are strictly enforced. Riders must slow down, overtaking is forbidden. Crashing under yellow is deemed irresponsible unless external factors, oil, debris, are involved. Unsafe practice starts can result in grid or long lap penalties. These measures reinforce discipline during non-race phases, ensuring safety standards are upheld. Penalties must be effective and served at the next event the rider participates in. If a rider misses a race due to unrelated injury or illness, the penalty is considered served. Medical judgments are independent from disciplinary decisions. This prevents riders from starting races while injured simply to clear penalties, protecting both themselves and others. Moto3 riders receive harsher penalties for similar infractions to set standards for young competitors and ensure deterrence. For sprints, most penalties carry over to the GP race, but track limits, jump starts, and technical infringements are served immediately in the sprint. The philosophy is clear: the Sunday GP remains the main race, but sprints are not exempt from discipline. The 2026 penalty protocol reflects MotoGP's evolving balance between competition and safety. By clarifying rules for slow riding, contact, starts, and penalty serving, The stewards aim to ensure consistency while retaining flexibility for exceptional cases. Riders know the boundaries, ambition is welcome, recklessness is punished, and repeat offenses escalate quickly. With the Thai GP opening the season, the framework is set. Now it's up to the riders to race within it. With the 2027 market heating up, Fabio Quartararo tipped for Honda, Jorge Martin linked to Yamaha, and Ducati reshuffling its roster, Marini's name surfaced in reports from the Buriram test. Yamaha struggles with its new V4, and its need for experienced development riders have fueled speculation that Marini could be a fit. I don't know anything, but it's true that when it comes to developing a bike, I'm the best. The line is half defiant, half wry. Marini's comment plays to his reputation as a methodical developer, but it stops short of confirming any talks, a deliberate stance while the market remains fluid. Marini's move from VR46 Ducati to Honda in 2024 coincided with a clear uptick in Honda's development trajectory. His analytical approach and calm feedback loop have been credited with accelerating setup progress and improving race consistency. For a manufacturer like Yamaha, undergoing a rebuild, that profile is valuable. Teams often prize riders who can translate feeling into actionable data. Marini's track record makes him an obvious candidate when a factory seeks stability alongside a headline signing. Honda's roster planning complicates Marini's future. With Johann Zarco and Diogo Moreira contracted through 2027 and Quartararo expected to join the factory squad, available seats are limited. Honda's test team, including Alex Espargaro and Takaki Nakagami, further cushions the manufacturer's development needs. That depth reduces the urgency to retain Marini purely for development reasons, opening the door to outside interest if Yamaha or another factory makes a compelling offer. Marini delivered consistency in 2025 but lacked the outright pace of some teammates, a factor that could influence team decisions. Yamaha, meanwhile, may seek a second rider who can mirror the learning curve Marini experienced at Honda. Someone who can stabilize a fragile package while a star signing handles headline results. The fit is logical on paper, but MotoGP transfers hinge on timing, contracts, and the shifting priorities of manufacturers. Luca Marini's short, confident reply to Yamaha rumors keeps options open without feeding the frenzy. He remains a prized asset for his development skills and steady racercraft, but the final shape of the 2027 grid will depend on a cascade of moves elsewhere. For now, Marini focuses on the season ahead, letting results, not speculation, define his next step. Moving from World SBK to MotoGP is a steep learning curve, even for a rider of Toprak's caliber. The winter tests offered a baseline, but translating superbike instincts to the M1's behavior on corner entry, mid-corner stability, and electronics has proved demanding. It's what I expected. Going from SBK to prototypes isn't easy, even for a champion like me. The winter tests were an important testing ground. I know there's still a lot to do. His realism is striking. Rather than overpromise, Toprak frames the season as a process, incremental gains, data study and steady improvement. Buriram's heat and abrasive surface add another layer of difficulty for a rookie MotoGP rider. Toprak admits the physical toll and the need to manage tire life and race pace under extreme conditions. We'll see. It's my first race and it will be very difficult, especially on a track like this with so much heat. The Thai GP will be a test of endurance as much as speed. For Toprak, the priority is to extract usable race data rather than chase headline lap times. Jack Miller's presence has been a practical resource. Toprak studies Miller's lines and setup choices, using them as reference points while he builds confidence and pace. Their relationship is collaborative rather than competitive at this stage. Jack is a good person. We sometimes work together. I see that he can take some corners very well, and I need to improve. Having an experienced teammate who can share usable feedback accelerates adaptation, especially when the bike itself is evolving. The psychological side of the transition is as significant as the technical. Toprak admits to moments of frustration, where constant comparison to lap times and expectations becomes draining. He has learned to switch off the timing screens to protect his mindset. I try not to look at the times, sometimes I turn off the screen. I'm trying to be positive and have fun on the bike, but sometimes it's difficult. That honesty is rare and revealing. It underscores how elite sport demands emotional resilience alongside physical skill. Toprak's first steps in MotoGP are defined by humility and hard work. The Yamaha M1's development curve and his own learning timeline mean immediate results are unlikely, but his methodical approach and willingness to learn from teammates give him a clear path forward. Buriram will not be the final verdict. It is the opening chapter of a season where progress, not podiums, is the realistic target. The collision with Marco Bezzecchi in Indonesia required surgery and an extended rehabilitation period. Although Márquez returned to track work in January and completed preseason testing, the shoulder has not yet regained full strength. The 2025 Aero, which Márquez preferred last year, places greater physical demands on the rider through higher cornering loads and different aerodynamic balance. With his shoulder still sensitive, he opted for the lighter, less aggressive 2024 package to reduce strain. I cannot ride the bike in the same way as last year at the moment. Márquez was careful to stress that both aero packages are effective but behave differently. The 2025 kit delivers performance for riders who can exploit its higher downforce and stability at speed. The 2024 package is more forgiving physically. By reverting to the earlier spec, Márquez aims to preserve race pace and consistency while his shoulder continues to strengthen. The move is tactical rather than a concession of competitiveness. This is a measured approach. Preserve the rider's longevity and extract maximum performance from what his body currently allows. Márquez noted that testing places heavier physical demands than race weekends because of the volume of laps and the constant experimentation required. Illness and recovery made the preseason more exacting, but completing the test program without major setbacks was encouraging. He expects the rhythm of a race weekend to be easier on his body than the relentless nature of testing. Testing is always harder for physical condition than race weekend. Adaptation has been a hallmark of Márquez's career. He emphasized his ability to modify riding style to suit equipment and physical condition, and he intends to do so again. The plan is straightforward: start with the 2024 Aero, manage the early rounds, and reassess as recovery progresses. If the shoulder improves, a switch back to the 2025 package later in the season remains possible. The choice preserves competitiveness now and keeps options open for later upgrades. Marc Márquez's decision to use Ducati's 2024 Aero package is a pragmatic blend of medical caution and competitive instinct. It acknowledges the reality of recovery without surrendering ambition. As the season opens at Buriram, Márquez will rely on adaptability, measured testing, and careful management of his physical condition to defend his title, with the 2025 Aero waiting as a potential mid-season upgrade once his shoulder allows. Thanks for watching ZNGP Today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!